I see y'all talking shit about my son and his new show that's coming out, talking about I gotta judge the woman and I'm gonna have a problem with all the women and I want to have for my own son. Like, you guys need to stop that nasty, trifling ass shit. It's a nasty, you nasty. Get your life together. That's my baby. That's my son. Sick ass. It ain't my fault your mama and your daddy don't like you. That ain't my fault. Cutie Pie showing up here tonight. Hey, y'all. Hey, girl. They cute. They came for my baby. They outside for my baby, y'all. I'm so nervous to give a speech. Because y'all know my speeches be long-winded. Long-winded. You know, I got to get a couple motherfuckers together.
The internet is still trying to recover from what just went down at Blueface's homecoming because Karlissa, yes, the Karlissa, the woman who could start a hurricane with a side-eye pulled up so dripped out that even the camera lenses were begging for mercy. This wasn't an outfit, it was a visual assault. The kind of entrance that makes the Kardashians look like they shop in the clearance aisle. And the second she stepped out, social media flatlined. People swore the temperature went up 10 degrees just from the reflection of her jewelry. TikTokers started stitching videos like they'd just witnessed the second coming of the Met Gala, while Twitter was having a meltdown more dramatic than a Zeus Network reunion special. Nobody even looked at Blueface anymore. He might as well have been invisible. Because from the moment Karlissa appeared, smelling like controversy and sliding in dress like she hired Rihanna's stylist, Beyoncé's glam team, and Kris Jenner's PR department at the same time, it was clear this night belonged to her. And if you thought it stopped at the doorway, buckle up. Because the leaks, the looks, the whispers, and the internet were that followed. You are not ready. From the moment the sun dipped and the lights around the venue began to glow like paparazzi flashbulbs, everybody knew this homecoming wasn't going to be normal. But what no one expected was that Karlissa would be the human plot twist that hijacked the entire narrative. Blueface was supposed to be the star, the returning king, the decorated hometown celebrity with cameras waiting, fans screaming, and bloggers starving for content. Instead, the instant Karlissa stepped out of that ride, styled like luxury chaos in motion, the whole atmosphere flipped into a fashion crime scene investigation. People started zooming in on screenshots like the FBI looking for clues. Is that velvet, diamonds, liquid fabric from the future? No one could decide. They just agreed on one thing. Karlissa walked in with the energy of someone who didn't come to mingle. She came to conquer. And the crowd parted like Moses had her SVPD. Instantly, the whispers turned into wildfire. Oh my god, that's Blueface's mom. Became Forget Blueface, who styled her. While commenters on Instagram were arguing whether she was channeling Mary J. Blige at the BET Awards or the ghost of bad girl era Rihanna. And every step she took looked choreographed, a divine scandal. We're talking heel clicks so sharp they could slice egos in half, fabric so smooth people were convinced a luxury brand was crying somewhere in silence. You could tell she'd been waiting for this moment like a headline that manifested into reality. No shaky entrances, no awkward smiles, just that icy, I'm here, and y'all better swallow it confidence that influencers would sell their souls for. Meanwhile, Blueface's entire presence was shrinking by the second. Blogs tried desperately to keep him centered, writing captions like "Blueface arrives with family," but the comment section ate them alive. We see Karlissa. Zoom in on the real main character. Blueface who bring back his mom. It was brutal, hilarious, and a little tragic all at once. But that's what happens when a mother walks into her son's moment and accidentally becomes the muse, the menace, and the media magnet of the entire event. The icy glitter on her dress reflected harder than every diamond rappers pretended to flex, and somehow the room just accepted that she owned the narrative. The DJ could have stopped the music and everyone would have still stood there, locked onto the walking headline. What made this moment even wilder was the background tension simmering underneath her entrance. Karlissa hasn't exactly been a saint in the digital streets. She's become a one-woman reality show warring with Christian rock online, dropping suspicious hints about Junior and sparking more family explosions than an HBO drama. So to see her arrive at the homecoming not in quiet apology mode, but dressed like a villain entering Act 2. Oh, people were foaming. The fact that she walked in unbothered, unshaken, and dripping in glam felt like a message written in glitter and caught on camera. The rumors didn't break me. They gave me budget, and the internet ate it like a 5-course meal. Before the live streams even caught steady angles, screenshots were flying everywhere. TikTok claims she came in exhaling perfume that costs more than monthly rent. Reddit. Threads insisted she hired a secret stylist with Hollywood ties. Twitter Spaces opened just to argue about whether her outfit was custom or pulled from a vault that normal citizens aren't allowed to access. People who weren't even at the venue started acting like eyewitness analysts. That's couture. No, that's archive runway. Actually, that's money talking loudly. Nobody could agree. Except on the fact that Karlissa's entrance was so unnecessarily extravagant that it was automatically iconic. Then the bigger theory hit. Some viewers swore this wasn't just glam for glam's sake, it was strategy. They claimed she knew headlines would be circling Blueface again soon. The court murmurs, relationship dramas, messy family leaks, and fan wars still simmering from last month. And if chaos was brewing, Karlissa wasn't walking into the storm as prey. No, she was showing up dipped in armor disguised as fabric. Sparkles that said, "Aim your rumors at me, I reflect energy." Colors bold enough to scream that if the internet wanted smoke, she would bring a wildfire wearing heels. It was fashion psychology at its most mischievous, and even critics had to admit the woman was playing chess while social media brought out cards. And then came the reactions from Blueface himself. Cameras caught him smiling, smirking, and low-key, looking stunned like he hadn't seen this version of his mother in years. He tried posing with fans, but every lens drifted right back to Karlissa. Paparazzi weren't calling his name, they were yelling, "Karlissa, look this way!" Rappers, influencers, vloggers, even a random girl who probably snuck in through the side door all wanted selfies with her. His homecoming welcome ballooned, but she was the one inside the air. If ego collisions made sound, you would have heard thunder. And of course, the public started whispering whether Karlissa's look was symbolic. Some said she was celebrating, reclaiming her storyline after getting dragged through digital mud. Others spun wilder theories, that she was throwing rich anti-shade at Christian, that she wanted to mark territory, or that this was an unspoken royal entrance declaring that no woman, baby mama, girlfriend, Zeus cast member, trending, rival, or internet troll would ever upstage her legacy to her own son. Whatever the truth was, that outfit had more attitude than every Twitter rant combined. But the real ignition switch wasn't even her style, it was how comfortable she looked in it. Head high, shoulders back, walking like life owed her back pay and she came to collect. Even people who didn't like her had to nod. The confidence was heavy enough to be visible. The irony was brutal. Critics spent months portraying Karlissa like a chaotic villain. But she stepped in looking like the villain everyone secretly roots for. And social media loves that archetype more than oxygen. The leaks that followed just fueled the obsession. A close-range clip surfaced showing the texture of her dress sparkling like meteor fragments. Another video caught her laughing with fans while Blueface stood slightly behind, half forgotten. Screenshots of strangers' reactions went viral because they weren't subtle, jaws dropped, cameras out, people whispering like they were watching a crown get placed. And nobody had to say it out loud. Blueface came home, but Karlissa arrived like home was hers. Even the gossip pages that usually roast her made an exception. They posted side-by-side comparisons of celebrity red carpets with her entrance in the middle. And the comment sections, women were taking notes. Guys were scandal tweeting like they discovered a new conspiracy. And for once, the internet didn't debate whether she caused drama. They debated how she ate the entire event alive. No table manners, no apologies, no crumbs left behind. Because here's the truth beneath the sequins, Karlissa didn't just show up to witness history, she became it. And every flash, whisper, meme, rewind, and repost that followed was the universe admitting exactly that not just when people thought the madness had peaked, the night mutated into something even wilder. Because Karlissa's entrance didn't just trend, it detonated. Memes blasted across the timeline like digital fireworks. One viral post called her Karlissa Knowles Carter, claiming she looked like she body-checked Beyoncé out of her own glam squad. Another edited Blueface completely out of the red carpet. Photo slapped a fake Vogue logo at the top and titled it The Return of Karlissa, a fashion era. Someone else photoshopped a crown on her head with the caption Queen of Homecomings. It was chaos, comedy, and confusion baked into one of the wildest PR flips the internet's seen all year. But then the tone got louder, pettier, and more unhinged. Chrissy and rock fans jumped in to demand context. Why is she trying so hard? Not her cosplaying as luxury. Girl, did you rent that outfit or manifest it? Some of those comments aged like milk because every new angle made her look even more put together and expensive. No loose threads, no out-of-place makeup. Even her posture looked designer-engineered. Replies started swinging the other way. Be serious, she ate. You can't drag someone who clearly came styled. Stop hating, Karlissa understood the assignment. And then someone dropped the nuclear line, say what you want about her mouth, but that woman knows how to pop out. Meanwhile, celebrity pages got the bait. Hollywood Unlocked, gossip blogs, hip-hop reaction accounts all grabbed the photos like they'd found leaked treasure. And every platform spun its own theory. One claimed Karlissa hired a private stylist who's worked with major artists. Another swore she got the look custom-built from a Los Angeles atelier. A few insisted Blueface paid for everything as an apology after all the messy headlines earlier this year. And the wildest conspiracy? That she purposely dressed to humiliate every rival woman who's ever tried to overshadow her, from Christian to Hazley to whoever the internet drags next week. People argued like it was a political debate. Screenshots, highlight zooms, fabric speculation, and slow-motion walk reels multiplied faster than rumors on Zoostop. Then came the celebrity reactions. One influencer slipped onto Instagram Live just to talk about her. I don't care what y'all say. Sis walked like her spirit was sponsored by Versace. Another went viral for saying she looked like the mix between Rich Andy Energy and Scarface Villain Chic. Even some rappers chimed in with laughing emojis, flame icons, and Karlissa comments. Every time someone tried to change the subject, the conversation crawled right back to her. Even Blueface's own fans were like, "We love you, bro, but your mom ate this event like a buffet." The disrespect was comedic, but the hype was undeniable. And then the micro-scandals started brewing. Someone claimed they overheard a few people at the venue whispering about tension, that certain women looked threatened by the attention Karlissa was getting. Snarky side-eyes, clenched jaws, sudden selfie attempts to reclaim spotlight. Allegedly happening like background warfare. A TikTok storyteller even uploaded a narration claiming there were whispers that someone wanted to change the lighting so she wouldn't sparkle as hard on camera. Was it true? Who knows? But the internet didn't care. The rumor alone became entertainment. Commenters turned into amateur detectives, pausing videos frame by frame looking for proof of dimming lights. Some people took it farther, too far. Threads began asking whether Karlissa styled herself as a strategic look-at-me-now moment aimed at certain enemies, as if she entered dressed in symbolic armor. They pointed to her posture, the icy confidence, the deliberately smug half-smile. And the meltdown that followed was better than any season finale. Because the more viewers stared, the more they convinced themselves this wasn't fashion. It was psychological warfare. That's not a dress. That's battle attire. She came dressed like the villain the internet created, and she said fine. I'll play the role. I don't respect her drama. But she served and had the nerve to be comfortable. Twitter hasn't been that. united on anything since celebrity gossip began, and somewhere in that social stampede, Blueface's relevance dipped even further. Every platform that tried to praise him got hijacked. Someone commented he's lucky to be in her photo. Another wrote, "Imagine having a homecoming and someone else headlines it." It became the unofficial joke of the week. Blueface threw the party, but Karlissa threw the era. And the more people saw clips of her walking, posing, laughing, flipping her hair, or glancing like she just saw her stocks rising, the more she became a mainstream fascination. Her critics couldn't even get traction anymore. She drowned them under visuals too sharp to clown. One fashion blogger stitched a video rating her look and gave her a straight 10. Calling her the mother-in-law of social timelines, somebody even started a mock petition asking for her to walk a red carpet event just so they could screenshot more outfits. Someone else made AI editorials with her as the cover star of imaginary magazines. Homecoming haute couture, mother of drip. Karlissa, the rebrand, the narrative had mutated into a cult-level spectacle. And through all the jokes, edits, theories, and mock documentaries, the undertone stayed the same. Karlissa pulled a reverse O card on the internet. Instead of being painted as the villain in messy family wars, the woman walked into that homecoming like she built the mansion everyone else lives inside. No apologies, no shrinking, no be humble energy. She moved like someone who realized the world already made her a character, so she might as well be the stylish antagonist everyone loves watching. And if the internet was going to drag her anyway, she clearly decided to let them drag sequins instead of plain clothes. Then another twist hit the feeds, leaked reactions from people who were actually there. Someone recorded a group gasping as Karlissa passed by. Another clip showed the moment Blueface tried waving to fans, only for them to yell her name instead. A voice in the background even said, "Bro?" She just upstaged him, and the TikTok comments turned feral. They dissected everything from her nails to her walk speed. Some people analyzed her perfume trail like it was forensics. That's Tom Ford. No, that's Baccarat. Now she smelled too rich. That was niche oil, blended by a private perfumer. It got ridiculous, but hype always is. And as the digital war kicked into higher gear, the tone shifted from comedy into obsession. Threads formed dedicated to breaking down her rebrand arc. Messy villain to ice queen fashion bombshell became the storyline people fell in love with. They compared her to every pop culture icon: Miranda Priestly, Cookie Lion, Claire Underwood, Kris Jenner in strategist mode. One wild post said she walked in like she had tea hotter than her outfit, and viewers believed it. Her silence suddenly seemed louder than her old rants. Her presence looked more expensive than any explanation. And the craziest part? Even people who once dragged her were forced to admit she dominated the night. Screenshots don't lie. Videos don't glitch when someone commands attention like a headline wrapped in designer attitude. And no matter how messy history looks, the internet cares about one thing and one thing only: who shuts the room down. That night, it wasn't Blueface. It wasn't fans. It wasn't cameras. It wasn't whatever drama people tried to revive in the background. It was Karlissa, dripping in mystery, swagger, and a chaos-coded glow that turned a homecoming into a coronation disguised as couture. As the days rolled on and the glitter settled into the digital bloodstream, one thing became painfully obvious. Karlissa's entrance wasn't just a moment. It was an aftershock that wouldn't stop shaking the internet. Every hour, new threads popped up, fresh reactions surfaced, and edits kept circulating like culture currency. It wasn't just trending anymore. It was lingering, mutating, evolving into a conversation about image, power, and narrative ownership. Suddenly, every blog that once printed Karlissa as a walking argument had to admit she pulled the slickest plot twist of the year. And it hit people hard because they weren't just reacting to an outfit, they were reacting to a persona reboot and the aftermath. Messy, hilarious, and unexpectedly poetic. Commenters who swore they'd never say a single positive thing about Karlissa were suddenly typing "Lucky she ate that" like they were whispering confessions in a church booth. People began pulling up old screenshots just to compare how drastically she'd shifted energy. Gone was that gritty, short-tempered, emotionally charged version of her that the internet loved to weaponize. In her place stood someone who looked like she'd been studying every villain arc from Disney to Dynasty, then monetized the transformation by wearing it on her sleeve, literally. Critics found themselves with nothing to clown. And being forced into silence was probably the most shocking consequence of all. But the psychological aftermath ran deeper than memes and threads. Suddenly, the conversation around Karlissa shifted from drama to branding. Influencers started calling her the PR Phoenix, commentators labeled her the unexpected anti-hero icon, and ex-fans crawled back asking whether she intentionally baited the entire internet into thinking she spiraled, only to reappear looking like she made peace with chaos and turned it into fabric. Overnight, she became the poster child for the world's favorite redemption scam, level up in silence, then walk in louder than your past. People cited her entrance as proof that public perception is water-shapeable, moldable, reversible under the right spotlight. Relationships, however, were a different battlefield. The energy around Blueface shifted too. The narrative that used to be about his decisions, controversies, and messy romantic chaos suddenly got overshadowed by one fact: his mother dominated his homecoming. And fans started watching him differently because of it. Some questioned whether he resented the spotlight collapse. Others felt he might be quietly proud that she stole the thunder instead of headlines dragging him again. A few even spun theories that the entrance was coordinated, that mother and son silently agreed she would rebrand first so that any mess surrounding him would be secondary noise compared to her glow-up. Whether that was true or just online fiction didn't matter. The idea itself became content, and content keeps the narrative breathing. But perhaps the most unexpected ripple was how it made people look at Karlissa's rivals. Suddenly, the women who used to be the focal point of heated debates, screaming matches, and messy drama looked strangely dull. Threads started surfacing like, "Now imagine trying to argue with her while she's dressed like a runway villain," memes painted her as the final boss of reality TV energy, while everyone else was pushed down into side character status. Even old controversies were joked about like expired seasons of a show nobody rewatched. Because once someone presents themselves like a diamond, every past rumor turns into dust. And of course, the think pieces arrived. Commentators broke down her rebrand with the seriousness of scholars dissecting Shakespeare. They analyzed how one calculated look can shift a public image from problematic mother to enigmatic icon. They argued about whether fashion is armor in the age of online humiliation. They questioned whether audiences are addicted to reinvention more than truth. And in classic internet fashion, all those conversations existed simply because a woman walked into a building wearing clothes that screamed, "I don't beg for softness. I weaponize confidence." That's the funny irony here. Karlissa didn't make any speeches. She didn't rant on Live. She didn't post a manifesto or hold a press conference. All she did was show up styled, poised, composed, wrapped in enough attitude to silence 1,000 critics. And for the internet, that silence was louder than any interview. It forced people to realize that reputation is only as fragile as someone's willingness to hide. She didn't hide. She walked in front of the flash knowing people would judge. And instead of shrinking under it, she let the flash become a spotlight. But the aftermath didn't just stay online. Real-world shifts started creeping in. Rumors surfaced that a local fashion house reached out to her. Someone claimed she'd been invited to host a styling panel. Others whispered that she was offered an ambassador deal because she knows how to wear a moment. Whether these rumors were real, exaggerated, or pure delusion, the fact people believed them said more than any receipt. Style isn't just fabric, it's influence. And influence changes how society treats you. The funniest part was watching people who used to dismiss Karlissa suddenly mimic her aura. TikTok challenges popped up with users recreating her walk, her pose, her heel deal with it energy. Instagram Reels showed edits of other moms jokingly dressing in reunion-level glam. And the theme stayed consistent. Karlissa became a character people wanted to cosplay, not cancel, Even the critics couldn't escape the aftermath. They tried bringing up old drama, resurrecting conflict, waving around past screenshots like they were ancient scrolls. But the internet wasn't interested in history anymore. They wanted the queen villain arc. They wanted the glam, the rebrand, the mystery. And that meant old receipts no longer had value. People had already consumed the spectacle, and in the age of short attention spans, whoever dominates the present eclipses the past. That's the consequence of reinvention. And it left everyone watching their own reflection too. If a woman who used to be dragged weekly could walk into a homecoming and rewrite her headlines with a single outfit, what else could be rewritten? Viewers started analyzing their own narratives, jokingly declaring they were entering their Karlissa era. The cultural ripple wasn't just fashion, it was attitude. And attitude spreads faster than scandal. As for Karlissa, she didn't say a word. No long captions, no messy clapbacks, no cryptic posts, just photos, smiles, glam, and a silence that felt smug in the most entertaining way. Because nothing robs critics of air faster than a target who stops reacting. And nothing feeds intrigue more than a figure who leaves interpretation floating like perfume. Blueface, meanwhile, sat in an awkward whirlpool of fan discussions. Some praised him for letting his mother shine. Others joked he looked like the plus one at his own event. The poor man couldn't win even if he tried. But maybe that's the beauty of the aftermath. Homecomings aren't always coronations for the main character. Sometimes they're runway stages for the person everyone underestimated. And in the end, that night belonged to Karlissa not because she demanded it, but because she embodied it. Confidence louder than controversy, presence sharper than gossip. Style that didn't just distract from old narratives, but drown them entirely. And when social media chooses who wins the room, the decision is final. The scandal people expected never came. Instead, a woman they counted out walked into a building and walked out a phenomenon. Screenshots became artifacts. Threads turned into mock documentaries. And every glittering pixel of her outfit carved a lesson across the internet's forehead. Villains don't always burn. Sometimes they shine. And when they do, nobody forgets the glow. So whether people loved her, despised her, feared her, or rooted for her, they all learned the same thing watching that entrance unfold in screenshots and shaky live streams. Karlissa didn't just upstage the event. She rewrote the climax. And once a story flips like that, there's no going back. And if you survived this roller coaster of glitter, chaos, memes, and villain core energy, congratulations! You are officially part of the audience that watched one of the wildest rebrands unfold in real time. Because when Karlissa stepped into that homecoming, dripping like luxury became her birthright, the internet did what it always does. It spiraled, it screamed, it judged, it obsessed, and it listened. And you and I both know this won't be the last time she hijacks headlines wearing confidence like diamonds. So if you want every messy leak, every sudden glow up, every viral clip, every scandal dressed in sequins, and every moment that breaks the net, then don't just slide out of this video quietly. Smash that like button like it owes you apology money. Drop a comment with your wildest theory, your sharpest meme, or your hottest take, because half the fun is watching y'all turn comment sections into mini documentaries. And if you somehow think this is the peak, oh buddy, scandals age like leftovers. Fresh chaos drops weekly here, and if you blink too long, you'll miss the next reality TV level bombshell. So hit subscribe, slam that bell like you're trying to wake up the neighbors, and stay locked in with the only place online where drama dresses in couture and storylines unfold sharper than celebrity cheekbones. Because somewhere in a camera roll, a group chat, a backstage whisper, or a half-deleted post, another moment is brewing, and you already KNOW will be here when it leaks. Until the next entrance, the next meltdown, the next viral drip. Keep your screenshots ready, your popcorn filled, and your conspiracy filters sharpened. Celeb SYNC scandals think here. Scandals think here.